Hi, I'm Annemarie with Speak Confident English, and welcome to this week's Confident English lesson. I want to start today with a question for you. What is the best compliment you've ever received at work? Was it a compliment on some unexpected success, like exceeding a sales goal? Or perhaps you avoided disaster with an upset customer? Did you do something to help a colleague who was sick or super stressed at work? And I'm curious, how did that compliment make you feel? Some common words that we might use for that feeling in English is to feel proud, elated. Elated is a great synonym for feeling very happy. It means to feel extremely content and joyful. Maybe you felt satisfied or accomplished. All of those are fantastic feelings to have. We love those feelings. And wouldn't it be amazing to be able to make someone else feel that way? That is exactly what giving a compliment can do. Now, sometimes giving a compliment in a second language, for you in English, it might feel awkward. You're not really sure of which words to say and are they correct? Will the other person understand what you're trying to say? Will they understand your meaning? But then if you don't give a compliment in a situation where you want to, you might feel bad. You might worry that your colleague thinks that you're unfriendly or unkind, and that's definitely not true. So today we're going to learn exactly how you can and should compliment your colleagues at work. And I'm going to use 4 examples to help you. You'll get the phrases that you need so that you are correct. It's easy to understand you, your meaning is clear, and you are able to show your appreciation for something that your colleague did. The best part is that compliments are free and they make people feel wonderful. With a compliment, you can give your colleague the gift of feeling proud or feeling accomplished. And that is one of the best gifts that you can give to someone. So let's look at 4 situations where you might want to give someone a compliment and how you should do that. Situation number 1. Your colleague does you a favor. To do someone a favor means to do a kind or helpful act. Perhaps you have a really big deadline coming up, and your colleague does some extra work to help you meet that deadline. This is doing you a favor. Or maybe a colleague picks up a shift for you at work because you're sick, or your daughter has a music recital and you really want to see your daughter play. This, again, is doing you a favor. A great formula for complimenting someone when they do you a favor is something like this. I couldn't have done that without you. And then be sure to say thank you. Now, it's even better if you can be very specific about it. For example, I couldn't have gone to my daughter's music recital without your help, and she would have been so disappointed if I wasn't there. Thank you so much for giving me that opportunity. That is a fantastic compliment, and it will definitely make your colleague feel good about doing you a favor. Situation number 2, your colleague saved the day. To save the day is an idiom that means someone is able to manage something positive or successful when everyone else thinks it's a disaster or a catastrophe or failure. For example, maybe your company's biggest client is very upset and they're thinking about leaving your company. They're thinking about going to a competitor. This could be a disaster. This could cause major financial problems. But your colleague maybe has an idea or a solution, or they talk to the client, and in the end, they resolve the situation. This is definitely saving the day. And this is a perfect opportunity to use a third or mixed conditional in English. You might tell your colleague, if you hadn't found a solution to that client's concern, we might all be looking for jobs tomorrow. In other words, if your colleague hadn't saved the day, you might have lost your job. If a company loses its biggest client, it could cause some major problems. And you're really grateful that everything is okay, everything is secure, and you don't have to worry about losing your job. Another example of saving the day: if you hadn't noticed that accounting error, we would have lost 10% of our profits this month. Situation number 3, your colleague exceeds expectations. To exceed expectations means to do more than expected. This doesn't mean that your colleague does their usual job and does it well. You're supposed to do your job well. But it means that your colleague does something more, something extra, something unexpected. For example, it might mean working through the whole weekend on a project for the team. Or it might mean staying late at work to help you with your project. The most important words that you can use in a compliment are thank you. You can say what you're thankful for and why you appreciate it. For example, thank you for working late last night to edit the document. We wouldn't have found all of those mistakes without you. I owe you one. I owe you one. If you remember, in situation number 1, we talked about doing someone a favor when we do something kind or helpful. And when we say I owe you one, this is an idiom that means I owe you a favor. It's now my turn. So the next time something happens, it's my turn to do you a favor. And finally, number 4, your colleague improves the atmosphere or the culture of your workplace. We all know someone who always has the right words for the situation, no matter how good or bad that situation is. Or someone who always knows how to make us laugh, even when there's really bad news. This is someone who is improving the atmosphere or the culture in the office. They're giving everyone a little bit of optimism, something to laugh at, and it improves the morale of the workplace. This is always a huge benefit for job performance and job satisfaction. So the next time that person that you know who always says the right thing or has the perfect joke to tell, here are some compliments you can give them. You always know how to make us laugh when we need it the most. Thank you. Thanks for always helping us see the positive. We need that. Now, with these 4 situations that I've talked about, I do have additional examples that you can find in the online lesson. So if you have someone that you really want to compliment at work, you can use some of those examples to help you. Thank you so much for joining me this week. If you found this lesson useful to you, be sure to give it a thumbs up on YouTube or share it on Facebook. I look forward to seeing you next week for your Confident English lesson.